Hello everyone, I'm Alya Faaizah, and today I'm going to make you a short explanation about the most important thing in English. It's about morphology. So without any further ado, let's just get started. So in language, words are the basic building blocks. And here's some proof. When babies start talking, parents don't say, "My baby just made a sentence." No, they proudly say, "She said her first word." This shows how we see words as the basic building blocks of language. And also, words don't always need sentence to make sense. And here's another proof. When someone's shooting, fire, or commanding like go, all of this are single words that still have a meaning, depends on the situations. Now we know words are basic units and also depends on the situations. But words also have their classifications. First one is dictionary that arrange words by spelling, meaning, grammar class, and also pronunciations. And next is thesaurus that arrange synonyms or similar words and antonyms or opposite words. Alright, now let's take a look at another important idea. And please take a look at this sentence. It's a very old book. If we count by space, we get 6 words and it's pretty easy. But there some words are repeated. Very appears twice, right? So do we still have 6 different words? This basically shows the difference between types and also tokens. Well, tokens means each of words, so both very count as 2 tokens. And types means each appearance of word, so both vary count 1 types. So here the main point, word are building blocks mean word is basic units that carry meaning to build a communication. While word as a types and tokens mean is how we count word depends each or repetitions. And next, can we predict the meaning of word even if we've never seen it before? Turns out yes. For example, if I said meow or bark, you can guess it easily. It's a sound of cat and dog. Now, it's called onomatopoeic words or words that sound like the thing they mean. And now, let's take a guess of this word. Helpful. We can easily know this word because of how the parts are put together. It's basically help plus full, so it seems like full of help. Now, I give a little more harder example. Take a look of this word, scorn. Do you know the meaning of this word? But what if I put it on the sentence? He looked at the rude customer with a look of scorn, refusing to serve them. It is very clear in the sentence that the word scorn indicates an act of ridicule or insult. So that means that some new words are easy to guess when they are put into a sentence. But what about the non-words with unpredictable meanings? Well, it can be idiom. For example, spilling the tea or spill the tea. It means asking to spill a secret or gossip instead of spilling the real tea. Or it can be a proverb. For example, don't judge a book by its cover. Not just about a book, it have a wide meaning. It means that we should not judge people from the outside only. And this kind of expression need to be memorized, and also the meaning cannot be guessed from the parts. Now you understand the differences about predictable and unpredictable meaning. We move to words versus lexical items. Word is actually a basic unit in building sentence. And lexical item is anything with special meanings. It could be word, it could be idiom, and it could be a proverb. So that's the differences. And next about, did you know that many English words are not just one piece? Here I have a word, an example word, helpfulness. Do you think this word can be broken down? Of course it can. It actually combination of help, full, and also ness. And this basic unit of words called morphemes. So in short, morphemes is the smaller building blocks that carry meanings. Next, not all morphemes behave the same because there are two types of morphemes. The first one is the free morphemes. It's basically a morphemes that can function independently, like example dart, help, read, and others. And bound morphemes are morphemes that must bound to something else, like example nest in a darkness. Now we got more technical. It's about kinds of morphemes. So the first one is root. Root actually is the central part of word or the main carrier of meanings. So roots also have two types. It can be free roots, like example book in bookcase, and also bound roots, like example meet in submit. And the second one is affixes. Affixes is an morphemes that attach to a root. Affixes also have two types. First one is prefix. It's before roots, like example un in unhappy, re and rewrite, pre and in preview. And also suffix is after roots, like example readable, whiteness and hopeless. And last but not least is the combining forms. These are morphemes often from Greek or Latin that look like a roots but usually appear only in technical and scientific terms, like example micro, micro, electro, and others. As we know before, morphemes is the smallest unit in a word, but one morpheme can change, have a different sound and look. This different form called allomorphs. Like example in English, we have a plural forms, but in a different sounds. Like example, cats with a pure S sound, cats. Days with a little bit Z sound, days. And horses with a IZ sound, horses. But not always plural. Also, the look can be changed too. Like example, wife to wives. The change is F to V. And beside of plural, another example come to past tense. Like example, walked, played, and wanted. Walked, walked, using T sound, and played, played, using D sound, and wanted, wanted, using ED sound. Now, you might think that all morphemes must have a meaning, but surprisingly is not always. Like example, a word of reduce, word of re in front of the deuce is one of the example of the unclear prefixes morphemes. So the conclusion is how to classify word part is first one is free and bound, so it's stand alone and cannot stand alone. And then roots and affix, it's actually core and addition. And morphemes and allomorph, it's a basic unit versus differences. And now we enter a new chapter. It's called inflections. So what is inflections? So inflections is when we change word form to show a grammar. And then let's take a look at word run. Sometimes we say run, running, or ran, but they all talk about the same main word, and that main word called lexeme, or the big idea of a word. And next is the main inflectional categories, and here are the main one in English. So the first one is a form of noun. Noun can be a thing, an animal, or a person. Like example, cat changed to be a cats when it's come to plural, or Alya changed to Alyas when it comes to possessions. And then next is a form of verb. There is a regular and irregular inflections. Like example, play changed to be a plate when it comes to past, or play changed to a place when it comes to third person singular. And last but not least is adjective. It usually does a comparison, and the label is a positive in a basic form, comparative to compare between two things, like example angrier or calmer, and then superlative are the most, like example angriest with with est in the back of that word. And in the next material is the last but not least, we will learn about inflection in other categories. The categories is pronoun and determinants. So in pronouns, it's actually words we use instead of name, like example, I, you, she, we, they. And then determinants is a word that usually comes before nouns, like example, the, this or that. And these words are form of closed classes, which means we don't usually add new ones. But where is the inflection word here? So the inflection word in pronouns, it shows ownership or possessive pronouns, like example, my, your, his, her, our, and their. And in determinants, it shows singular and plural forms, like example, this become this, that become those, this cat or those cat. And then form of verbs, this is the last. In English, one verb has 5 main forms like basic, third person singular, past participle, and last thing is verb in form.